Hello everybody, welcome back to Tachyon. Today I'm sitting in front of me a 2002 CR125R. This is my bike and I've been getting it ready to sell. It's got a new top end, new bearings, new gaskets, heaps of little bits. But one thing is, it doesn't look that great. The graphics on the front getting a little bit chipped up, plastics on the back quite scratched up. So what I'm going to be doing today is cleaning up the plastics a bit as much as I can and then putting on a new graphics kit. So yeah, hopefully you guys can learn something, and let's get started. Okay, so first things first, we're going to try and get the old graphics off as well as we can. With some bikes, these aren't going to want to come off. I know with KTM's, they often, I think they actually print to the plastic, I'm not sure, or it's just the graphics have a tendency to stain the plastics. Just try and get, if there's any ridges around the edges, just try and pull it off. This one here, luckily, comes off fairly easily. Okay, so I'm going to try and work out these scratches here just a little bit, just to get these rough spots off, where it flakes up a bit. The bits where it actually digs in, you can't really do much about unless you actually replace the plastic, but these little flakes and stuff that's coming off I can get rid of. Try to ignore the Tin Man's dong as well, hanging out the back here. I think it's a sparkle so I don't know why anyone put it on there, but I couldn't be bothered to change it. So I'm actually getting a file. Normally I'd get sandpaper. If you're using a file, be a little bit careful with it. The sandpaper will do less damage, but it is just plastic. So as you can tell, that looks a hell of a lot better. There is a lot of really deep scratches in there I won't be able to get out. Like that little indent there, just because simply if I do, I'm going to thin out the plastic too much and it's just going to destroy all the shape of it. But that got all the light stuff out. Now what I'm going to do, just real quick, normally I do this with a fine grade sandpaper, but I don't actually have any of that left, so what I'm going to use is just the sand and grit. Okay, so if you remember when I said I don't have any fine grit sandpaper, I was actually wrong. I do have some, there's just not a lot left, so I'm going to use this real quick. You want to move in one direction. You can go like side to side a little bit if you want, but just make sure that you finish it by going up and down, or side to side, just make sure it's all going one way. There you go, that's pretty much as good as you're going to get it. There's a couple little spots like that around the bike I'm going to quickly touch up, and yeah. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take it out and give it a quick wash, get all the shavings off from when I scraped down the fenders with the file, and get it looking as best I can, get all the dust off so it doesn't get under the plastics when we're putting them down, and then we should be good to go. Alright, so I actually forgot to do this earlier, but this front number plate is actually off KX, off my KX, it's the old one. And it was on here because I had a black plate for this, but not a white one, and I figured this would match better. It's also a nicer shape in my opinion, but that doesn't really matter. So, with this new graphics kit though, it's actually going to cover up the black front plate I had for it, which is the correct plate. So I'll put that one back on, just to make it look a bit more original. Alright, so now I'm going to put on the original plate that I had from before. And there you go. That looks a bit better. Alright, so the bike's all clean. It's got the grotty front fender on that makes it look like a brick. And it's good to start getting the graphics on. So first thing is to just quickly remove the seat and the front holder for the brake line. So then from there, start with the swing arms and the fork covers. We'll be good to go. Alright, so I'm going to start with the swing arm because it's the easiest to do. And best to start with the easiest. Just grab an alcohol wipe or brake cleaner or something that isn't going to leave a residue, and we'll just clean it off. Up. Yeah, don't drop it on the ground either. I don't think that's very good for them. Don't keep using them either after you drop them on the ground, but I only have 3 alcohol wipes left and no brake cleaner, so. Alright, so here is the actual graphics kit here. It comes with a little protective cover on all of the kit. So you peel off the sticky side, put all of them down, and then peel the protective cover off. I guess it's kind of like a revealing process. It's kind of nice. The kit actually came with instructions that said if you want to get a correct fitment, you should probably follow them. So if you want to get a proper fitment, follow the instructions that come with your kit. If you want to do it faster, follow me. No guarantee on how good it's going to be, but the bike will still look nice, somewhat. So we'll do that. Cool watermelons. They're bean shaped. Okay, so I'm going to put it on towards the front of the swing arm there, which means there's going to be a bit of a gap at the back. So I don't think they cut this quite right, but hey, they tried, and that's all that really matters. So you're just going to want to start peeling the sticky part off. Just a little bit, don't go all the way off, otherwise you'll end up with issues. And then make sure that you've actually got it straight. And hope that you didn't just fuck everything up. And I can see a little bit of water in the top of that already. And you just slowly make sure you just go real slow so you don't end up with bubbles. Like I said, the swing arm's pretty easy because it's pretty hard to actually get bubbles in it. Alright, so this one actually is kind of cut differently. This is like a 2002 to 2011 or whenever they ended, or 2007 for the CRs, but it went on in the 450s. So I think there actually might have been differentiations in this, and so because of that this doesn't fit right. But now I've got to find out how to fit this. I'm trying to make sure that it fits on the other side. I think that's a good spot there. Just that's about the right spot. Put it back to about there. Alright, so I've cut two little slices up the middle there with just a razor blade, and pulled that back just so that we have like a middle piece to stick on. Alright, so I feel like the next ones are kind of self-explanatory. They're all sort of flat up the sides, so you really just roll them on. You can put a little slit down the middle if that helps, and make sure you don't get any air bubbles in it. So yeah, do that. Alright, so the last piece to do is the radiator shroud. So this one can be a little bit difficult just because it's quite big and it's got a lot of curvature to it. The best thing you're going to want to do is to find like one straight edge and match to that. Line it up on that, and then the rest should line up against it. Probably don't use the rounded off bits because as you round it back off, it might actually fit differently. So what you want to find is the straightest, flattest edge where it doesn't roll over at all. This one here is the one I'm going to use because it's got quite a lot of surface area behind it. It's a sharp edge, it doesn't roll over on it, and it's also quite straight. You can also use this one if you want, but I don't know, it's all personal preference, and it also depends on the bike. You can use a bit of heat to help apply these, but this is only a thin vinyl, it's just an eBay kit, so I don't think I'm going to have to worry about that. And if you have to, in the process, you might want to have to keep peeling it off to make sure it like fits in there and whatnot. And if you have to do that, don't worry, that's not a big deal, the adhesive will take it. So yeah, let's get started. Alright, well there it is, it's all done. There is a couple iffy bits around the edges, so I'll just get a Stanley knife to that off camera. I'm sure you guys don't need to be told how to use a Stanley knife. But yeah, it's pretty good. That is the last of the graphics as well. So let's take all the protective pieces off and see how it looks. Alright guys, it is done. It came up a lot better than I thought it was going to. The plastics cleaned up quite well, and the graphics kit is way nicer than I expected. Overall, it did pretty well. There was a couple little bubbles and stuff around the edges. Some of them were my fault, some of them were just the actual cut's fault, like trying to get it to all line up. You ended up with some bits that just didn't want to fit right, and there was a lot of Stanley knife cutting, but for such a cheap kit, it did what it was meant to do. It looks pretty decent. And yeah, the bike is pretty much ready to sell now. Obviously there is other methods to doing this. You can use Windex, but I think it sort of destroys the adhesiveness. I might try that next time though, and I'll do a video on it. You can also use a heat gun if they are thicker vinyls, but for this we just didn't need to. It's pretty much the exact same process, just with a little bit of heat involved. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So please rate, comment and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Toodaloo.